But yeah, like back then, a lot of people who were doing like scientific experiments and, you know, creating things with, you know, whether it be with electricity or various different chemical components or whatever the case may be, by mixing different things together in order to create some kind of, you know, concoction that, you know, work for medicine or work for cleaning agents or work for all sorts of different things. You see what I mean? Like, you know, throughout time, man has, you know, over time, man has experimented with lots of different things, and you know, through experimentation and observation and etc. We've, you know, been able to, you know, create lots of things through, you know.
You think, like, for instance, like electricity, which is another word. I do like that word.
Yeah.
It changed our world.
Yeah.
Big time.
Oh.
Very big time, you know.
Well, when you break it down, it's kind of like electricity.
Well, we are living in electric cities, you know.
Because it's like electric. We know it's electric, but they call it electricity. So it's like you got electricity. If you see what I mean. Did you see what you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like electricity. Right.
Electric. Trick.
And then you got itty. You got electric itty. So it's like, you know.
It's a city, yeah.
Yeah.
You know. It is quite interesting, you know, like if electricity went, how many people would be completely lost? You know, and it would change. We'd go back in time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we've spoken about this quite.
Yeah, we have before, but you know, I'm just sort of stating a fact. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fact. But words, I go to words and language again. You know. I just love them.
Yeah.
Don't you love them?
Likewise.
You know. I mean, all the books that we've got today.
Yeah.
You know, all the books that have been written.
Yeah.
The last few hundred years, especially. You know.
Yeah.
Now we've got these big libraries everywhere. You know, with loads of books, with loads of words from, you know, which people love writing. You know, and. You know, I could write a book.
Yeah.
I think everyone could write a book.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone's got their own book or got their own story.
Yeah.
You know, I think I could write a few books.
Yeah.
You know, about different things. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's yeah, I think like.
I would like to write an autobiography one day, for sure. You know, a life story. You know, everyone's got an interesting life story for sure. You know, but I think I would like to write my life story one day. You know, even if it didn't get published, even if it was just for my kids and their kids to see one day. Like, you know, if you see what I mean, like the history. If you see what I mean. You know?
Yeah, I think I'd like, to be honest, I'd like to write a book, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you think about the future, you know, everybody might be writing a book in the future, do you know what I mean? Or, right, you know, it's like the Harry Potter lady.
Yeah.
You know, she got big, didn't she, suddenly, you know? And, you know, you can write a book and next day get rich, you know, do you know what I mean? You know, because it's so good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think everyone's a writer. And everyone's an artist, really. You know, it's just pushing yourself to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I love writing. I really do, actually. You know.
Yeah.
And the more I do it, actually, the more I enjoy it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, you know, because you're always learning. You know, I mean, words are kind of like a big, huge jigsaw puzzle, really, isn't it? You know, and you learn, you know, like today I said to you, I learned that new word today, you know, a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Added something else to, yeah.
Next time I hear it, you know, I will remember it, you know what I mean?
And you'll know exactly what it means, and yeah, you might end up using it in a sentence when you're talking to someone, you know. That's just how it works. Sometimes you end up incorporating it into your own, you know.
You know, next year, you know, maybe in a year's time, we could do words again, you know, in another episode, you know.
Part two.
But I know my vocabulary would be a bit better by then.
Yeah.
You know, and the show would be more interesting.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, stay tuned.
Yeah.
You know, for the future, you know, because, you know, I'm growing intelligent every week.
Right.
And so are you know.
Yeah.
So are we all, really, you know.
That's it.
You know.
You know.
Like, I mean, how long does it take a child to walk? You know.
It depends on the child.
Well, I mean, walk out onto the road, you know, and do his own thing, you know, independently, you know. Independently walk without getting run over. Let's put it that way. You know, it takes a number of years.
That again, I think, depends on the child too as well. Because some children
and
the parents, but obviously it's education again too.
Yeah.
It's teaching them safety, health and safety kind of education for personal self. If you see what I mean, in order to keep yourself safe, making sure you're looking every time you're crossing the street a few times, looking left and right a few times, making sure there's nothing coming, you're completely safe to cross. You know, making sure that when you're at when you're at the lights or whatever, you're pressing the button and you're standing there and you're waiting for, you know, everyone to stop for you to then, you know, then cross the road and, you know, you're just giving them advice and direction, isn't it? It's all about guidance. When you're a parent and the kids are young, you've got to guide them. It's like even my son, he's 10 years old now, yeah? And he walks halfway up the road from school and meets me now, yeah? Like, me and my daughter, like even today, let's say for example, my wife's been at work all day. Me and my daughter went to get my son after school. He had rugby after school, so we finished a little bit later, but we went to pick him up. And he walks halfway up the road and then meets us. Because he's getting a little bit older now, so that allowed him to become a little bit more independent and come, you know.
Well, it gets to a point. It gets to a point.
But he's almost going to get, like you're just going to say, he's getting to that point now, where soon he will be able to do it on his own. He will be able to walk to school and home from school by himself, because all these years of being with me and learning road safety and keeping himself safe and what to do and, you know, how to, you know, making sure you're vigilant and all that kind of stuff. You know, he's learned how to, you know...
Not just so, it gets to a point where it gets embarrassing to him in front of his friends that his mum and dad still take him to school.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's all that kind of thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But he wants to be independent, you know. He's already, you know, like every day when I wake up, like, okay, like, I know he's 10 now and that's kind of normal. But it's like even recently, like he started making his own lunch for school and everything, if you see what I mean. Like I wake up in the morning now, and by the time I've kind of waken up about 7:30, 8 o'clock, most of the time he's awake about 6:30, 7, so he's usually up before me, had breakfast, got himself ready, and now he'll get himself completely ready, make his own lunch, get everything ready. And by the time I wake up, all I've got to do is kind of make sure my daughter's ready, you know what I mean, and dressed and, you know, got a coat on and, you know, ready, good to go. And we can go kind of thing, because he's got the independence at that point where, you know, through, like you said, through education and through, you know, the older you get, the more you learn, the more you know, etc., wiser you become and more mature you become, you know, he's becoming more independent, you know. So, yeah.
I mean, you think, like, go back time, you didn't have to worry about the roads because they didn't exist in the kind of way, you know, like cars and all that. Do you know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about the children getting electric shocks either. Do you know what I mean? All these dangers have evolved. You know, we're living in a dangerous world today where, you know, you wouldn't want your children walking around the streets really, you know, because of the cars really, you know, they're quite dangerous, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. It's all about being educated though as well. Like, even my daughter, she's 4 now, yeah. She turned 4 a couple of months ago. And even like when she's walking with me now to go and get my son, she already knows she has to stay on the left. Like when we're walking up the road, she already knows she has to stay on the left-hand side of me, away from the road. So like I'm closest to the road, if that makes sense. Even though I'm not close to the road, I'm the closest to the road. She already understands she's always got to walk on the inside of me, away from the road, if you see what I mean. And that's what she does. She always stay on that side. When she's crossing, like I let her walk freely next to me without holding my hand or whatever, or run ahead of me. But she knows as soon as she gets to a point where she's got to cross the road, she'll stop and wait for me, and she knows she's got to hold my hand and then cross the road with me. If you see what I mean.
So you'll go first.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. So even if she gets there before me, because she's gone on ahead, just a little bit ahead of me, you know what I mean, she'll stop, wait for me, if you see what I mean, because she's, you know, it's that education of, you know you have to stop and you've got to wait for me in order to cross the road. You're too young to be crossing by yourself. If you see what I mean. Yeah. So yeah.
So I mean, it is all down to education, you know, and I do wish, these public schools were taught more words and what they meant. You know, it's really important, I think, you know.
Yeah.
To, you know, like, so I look at my schooling and I think, you know, I mean, I taught myself a lot of things, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So once I become interested, because I've always been interested in electronics, to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
Taking radios apart, whatever, you know, learning about electronics from an early age, you know.
Yeah.
But once computers come in, alright, I love them, you know. I want to learn about the software.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I did. I just put my mind to it, you know. And because with computers, you've got to learn English, you know. You've got to understand the words and a bit, you know. So I kept learning, you know what I mean? And here I am, you know, I understand it now, do you know what I mean? I taught myself.
Yeah.
In a kind of way, you know. I've still got a bit more way to go, do you know what I mean? My spelling's not perfect, you know, but it's better, getting better.
Yeah.
You know, every year I keep pushing myself, I'm catching up. You know, and I feel like you can catch up no matter what age, you know. So I feel like my schooling was awful, you know. Like I said, I was locked up in a cupboard by this teacher who kept picking on me all the time.
Yeah.
For a few years, you know. And it kind of destroyed my education.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know, and made me the person I was.
Yeah.
You know, I just liked art, really, you know, and running.
Yeah.
I love running. And I love nature, you know. When I got home, I was looking at the insects, you know. I'd say in those days you didn't have computers, you know, or computer games. The only thing really you could do is play cards or go outside and play.
Yeah.
In the garden, you know.
Yeah.
With the other children, really, you know. And I think, like, times have changed from that, you know, today.
Right.
Where children are just on their phones today, playing games or talking to each other on their phones, you know, and more separated than what I was as a child, you know, or other children were 50 years back, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like 100 years back, you know, it must have been a little bit nicer in some way for children, that is, and people a bit, but obviously, I think like in those days, it used to, you know, you didn't have double glazing.
Yeah.
So it's freezing, you know, and I think times were harder a little bit in different ways. You know, but what I think today, you know, it's complicated, you know, it's got, to me, I think it's, you know, you think you've got all this technology here, you know, but I think like, I wish we went back in time 50 years ago when it was just money. And you go in there and get your money and you're not waiting in these queues, and, you know, you get more queues these days for some reason, you know, where, I don't know, it's, you know, I mean, some of it's good sometimes, especially with this what is it, contact?
Contactless.
You know, that's quite good, you know, because it's just, you know, a lot easier, you know, but when you have to put your card in and all that, and put a number in and all that, you know, it's slower than actually put money in.
Yeah.
You know, just giving someone some money. You know, and when I used to get paid, I used to have a job, and at the end of the week, I used to get paid weekly, you know, I'd get a little wage packet, it'd have my money in it, you know, I'd put it in my pocket and I'd know where I was. You know, it didn't go in the bank.
Yeah.
You know, you did have to have a bank.
Yeah.
You know, now they made it, like, you've got to have a bank, to have a job.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a home to have a job now. You know, and all these kinds of things, you know, do you know what I mean? You know, they kind of like forcing you to, it's just changed in a funny way, you know, in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, and they put like, now you've got to have rent room, you know, like £15 every room you've got. I don't know, I mean, but it is, they keep changing things, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, any kind of, is there anything you kind of want to leave for the people in regards to words and languages?
Well,
before we kind of, you know.
No, like I say, I think words are very, very important, you know. And I think like people really need to, I don't know, I think like it, you know, for me, for instance, you know, it's taken me a number of years to understand what I know.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that, you know, it's not easy to learn, teach somebody that doesn't know it. You know, it does take time and experience, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I feel like actually I feel like I could be quite a good teacher, really, you know, because I kind of understand a lot of things in life, you know. Because I feel like I've had a lot of problems in life, actually, you know, in different ways, you know, and had to overcome them, you know.
Yeah.
And because of that, you know.
Life is the greatest teacher.
Well, you know, because I've had such a difficult life, I think, in various ways, and I could still smile, I suppose, you know, that means I've overcome them.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I can help other people, really, in a funny way, you know, like, teach people about different things, you know. I mean, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still learning, but I feel like I know more than most people.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because of all the experiences I've had in life, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah, trying to use your words to help others, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. You know, I'm.
Well, this is what this show is all about. You know, our kind of ethos and motto of the philosophy podcast has always been, you know, to give as much knowledge and information and
Well, that's
experiences and you know, etc. as we can. You know.
Well, I'm surprised that, you know, like there's not education out there to do what we're doing. You know, because personally, I'm not here. I don't really do things for money. I do it for love.
For love, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it because I feel. I mean, I wish that I had someone helping me in a kind of way in my life. You know, I mean, I didn't have a dad really. You know, he wasn't there for me. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I wish that I had a proper father, like some people. I didn't. You know, I had to actually be my own father.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like losing your father, for instance. You know, it might sound terrible, but you kind of get stronger because of that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, as a boy, you know, so it makes you into a stronger man as you grow up.
Well, you accept it for what it is. Well, not everyone does, but like even me too. I was in the same circumstance. You know, my parents divorced, and then I didn't know my father after that.
Yeah.
And they divorced when I was like 3. You know, so I understand that completely. So you know, but for me, luckily, I was one of these people that I just accepted for it. It is what it was. If you see what I mean. Like at the time, I was just. It is what it was, you know. I was just like, you know, so, you know, it's cool. You know, I got my mum and she's, you know, she's doing what she can, so can't really complain. Like, you know, that's how I used to look at it. You know, so this is, you know, at least I still got my mum. You know, she's trying her best to, you know, do everything she can. You know, for me and my siblings. You know, so. You know.
My dad, he used to drink quite a bit. You know, as a young man, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he died like 10 years ago, whatever. You know. I didn't really see him much, you know, do you know what I mean? But when I did see him, he always loved my brother. He was 2 years older than me, a lot, you know, and I noticed sort of like Christmas time and birthday times, I didn't get no birthday card from him.
Okay.
My brother did. You know, and how hurtful was that?
That's quite hurtful, yeah.
Right, yeah, you know, as a little boy. But what hurt does to you is make you stronger.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you can survive it, you know,
of course, yeah.
Not get so upset that you're going to drown yourself and do something stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so, I mean, that, I can remember, right, like I told you, didn't really, I wasn't very good with English or anything, or words, yeah?
Yeah.
And when I was sort of very, very young, 3, 4, I was still sort of seeing my dad at that time, whatever, you know, but, and then 5, I was a little bit, and 7. But I can always remember my brother was doing all the talking for me.
Okay.
He's a very confident boy, you know, and he quite intelligent, you know, and he used to sort of do all the talking for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I can remember one time going up to, hearing an ice cream van. My brother goes up to my dad and says, "Can I have an ice cream, please?" And he gives him money. And I go up there and I go, Mum, and he goes, say it properly like that, yeah? And I can say it, so he didn't buy me one.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what my dad was like, right?
Okay.
And I couldn't speak. You know, my brother was speaking for me. My dad was mean to me in a kind of way, you know, he didn't like me because I was stupid. And he said that, you know, one of every time I did see him, he didn't like me, he called me stupid all the time, do you know what I mean? And it really hurt me.
Of course, yeah.
You know, but as I say, hurt really, you know, what does it do to you? You know, what don't kill you makes you stronger.
Eventually,
you know?
yeah.
You know, so...
As long as you manage to overcome it.
No, of course, well, I am. You know, I did overcome it. So I would be here today.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying you, but I mean, I'm not saying you. I mean,
yeah.
From a generalised perspective.
Yeah. But like these little things, you know, like I'm telling you that little story, you know, and you know, some people might learn from it or understand it, or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I think like life is very beautiful if we could all learn, you know, and understand really. Somehow, you know, about everything really, you know, like happiness, everything, you know, all those kind of things, and come to one level of understanding together, but we're not, you know, we're kind of confused, you know. It's not like there's someone on TV sort of saying, I've got a better world here, you know, we're going to change it, we're going to educate everyone, we're going to forget about this money, and no one's going to pay bills anymore, you know, and all this sort of stuff, you know. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you know, and everyone's cheering a bit because you know, I think everyone's fed up with this world a bit. You know, fed up with the, you know, get up. I was 9 now, not, you know, 9 to 5, whatever. You know what I mean? More, you know, it's, you know, some people are out of it, out of the cage.
Yeah.
Some people are stuck in it. You know, and they've got, you know, and they don't like it at all. You know, they'd rather be dead. Some people. You know what I mean? That's the kind of world we're living in.
It's true though.
You know, we're forced to work. We're forced to. You know, and people are very sad about it, do you know what I mean? We should be all happy in this world, you know, it's, you know, I don't know, it's, I can't believe it actually, that we're living in a world, such a beautiful world, and in a way the human race is kind of in a misery state in a kind of way, you know, the cage, the system, you know, do you know what I mean? We're all stuck in.
Yeah.
You know, all of us. You know, I think every one of us in a funny way, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're the richest man in the world, we're still in this cage.
Oh yeah, still stuck in, still
somehow, one way or
we're still connected to the matrix in some way.
Yeah.
You know? If you want to call it the matrix, if you see what I mean, just as a loose term, you know, for modern day society, you know. But like we said, words, going back to words, you know, tonight's episode has been all about words and language, of course. Definitely got to be a part 2, I think, of this episode, for sure, in the future at some point. But like we were saying, just before we wrap it up and call it a night for this week's episode, like you said earlier, I think you hit it on the, you know, as soon as you said it earlier, I thought straight away, that hit the nail on the head, and that is, words are powerful, you know, they're very powerful. And I think just, you know, as we as humans just need to keep that in mind, you know. You know, I think we, like we say all the time, we create our own realities, and I think a big part of creating our realities is also speaking things into existence. And I think sometimes people do speak the wrong shit into existence, the wrong things into existence, you know.
It's no good lying, is it?
Without knowing it, you know, without even realising, you know, like they said, there's a lot of power in the tongue, you know. So yeah, be careful what you're saying and what you're projecting and what you're expressing, you know, and what you're wishing upon yourself and others, you know.
It's no good lying either, because you're just lying to yourself every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They belong to you. You know, your words belong to you too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got to be use your words to help someone, or to, you know, just try to be positive, you know, in the way that you use, the way you address people, and the way you conduct yourself with people, you know, and yeah, you know. Okay, mate. Is there anything anything else you wanna, you know, say before we wrap it up and call it a night?
Yeah.
Any final words?
Enjoy your words.
That's it. Yeah. Well, all I was going to say is that self-improvement, like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, at the very beginning, self-improvement is very, very important. and no one could ever knock anyone for trying to improve themselves in any way, shape or form. So if you want to have a more extensive vocabulary or be able to articulate yourself better or whatever, then all you have to do is just start reading more, start educating yourself more, start getting more educated in different topics, different ideas, and not just being stuck in one box, just focusing on one thing, just trying to get a broader perspective and deeper understanding of lots of different topics and lots of different things, and so that when you are having conversations with people and in whatever setting, you're able to you're able to relate to people, and you're able to conduct yourself accordingly, being able to express yourself in a productive manner, in a good manner, so yeah.
I'm looking forward to in the future, writing more songs, learning more words,
likewise,
becoming more intelligent,
Yeah.
Like I said, in a year's time, our shows should be even better than they are today, than this one, because my intelligence is going to go up another level.
Yeah.
It's going to go up level 10. It's only on level 9 at the moment, alright.
It's about to elevate, is it?
Yeah. When I was 1, it is on level 1.
Yeah.
And it's gone up.
Yeah.
It's going up now,
Yeah. You're probably on level 6. You're about to hit your sixth decade.
I can't wait until I'm 99.
You're on your 6th decade, so you're probably on level 6. You're about to hit level 6.
Yeah, I can't wait until I'm 100. Do you know what I mean? And I'm on level 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
hopefully, mate.
IQ, the highest IQ in the world. I'll be the most intelligent man in the world one day, and that's what I want to be. That's why I keep reading everything.
Yeah.
Everything that I see, I read, and I spend every hour learning. I want to be the most wisest person in the world. Well, the second wisest person in the world. How can you be the wisest person in the world, really?
I don't think anyone, you could never judge someone's intelligence. They could never say.
No, it's like you can be really
it's like this whole thing about this IQ thing. They say the person with the highest IQ in the world is the most intelligent person in the world. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that personally.
I don't
it just depends on what you judge intelligence as. It just depends on what your definition of intelligence is. Because we've all got a different definition of
it. Cooking is one. And all this,
etc.
What I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like we're talking about tonight. Words and languages are another one. People who could speak. Who are versed in multiple different languages and have can eloquently communicate onto the highest level, because
well, you might be better at cooking than me, more intelligent than me at cooking. Do you know what I mean? But my French might be better than yours, and you know what I mean, and so on.
Yeah.
And I might, I might know more than you. In some things, and you might know more about other things. That's the way it is, isn't it?
It's life. Yeah, we're supposed to learn from each other.
Some people know to play the piano.
Remove pride and ego from the situation and just learn from each other. No one's better than the other person. Stop judging people. Stop being so critical of other people. Accept people for who they are. Love them for who they are, and just learn from each other. Everyone is a work in progress. Just because you might be much further ahead of someone in terms of your progress as a human being than someone else, doesn't mean that they're any less, you're better than them in any way, shape or form. So yeah, thank you to you guys for tuning in to a brand new episode of the Philosophy Podcast. We'll be back again next week, of course, with a brand new episode, so please stay tuned for that, guys. Really hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode. It's been all about...
I forgot it. I have no. Well, it's words and language, I remember.
Yeah. So, yeah, thankfully it's remembered. Yeah. But yeah, this week's episode has been all about...
Forgotten.
languages and words.
That's it.
Hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode, like I said.
Lucky you got memory.
Good night. God bless. We'll be back again next week.
And don't lose your memory.
That's it. Try not to lose your memory. Hope you guys have enjoyed words and language. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to let us know. One love. Good night.